guys, welcome back. I'm so sorry that there wasn't a video on Sunday. I did actually plan to record and have a video for Sunday, but I actually was really poorly over the weekend. I had a really bad allergic reaction / virus, and my body just broke out in the most awful rash. Like, I can't even tell you guys how poorly I've been, so I'm really sorry that I didn't have a video uploaded for Sunday. I am going to upload one on Thursday as well, which is going to be a Mother's Day gift guide, so make sure that you tune in for that because it's just super exciting. So yeah, but I thought I would upload today because I wanted to do another foundation video. I've had so many questions about this foundation, how I've been getting on with it and my thoughts on it, and I do love the foundation, but there are some areas of it that are not so great as well. So I thought I would do my traditional apply it on camera, show you guys what my skin looks like before and after, go about my day and come back and tell you my thoughts. You may also notice that I'm in a different background. I haven't really figured out a proper filming solution yet, like where I want to film, but I thought for now, while I'm getting used to the house, I'd just switch it up a little bit. So I'm in my living room right now, and it's quite nice to film here actually because it's quite comfy. I have the sofa and yeah, it's really nice. So I'm hoping you guys don't care that the background may change a little bit over the next few weeks or months because I haven't really got a set filming area yet, so I hope that's okay. So let's get started. So the foundation in question, I'm actually going to be reviewing two products today, and they are the Bourjois City Radiance Skin Protecting, I always do that, I always say perfecting, it's protecting foundation with brightening effect, which looks like this. And I'm also going to review the concealer that came alongside it because I have only ever worn these together, and because they came out as part of the same launch, I picked them up at the same time, so I thought I would review them together. So let's talk about the foundation first. Packaging, really nice, comes in this nice little squeezy bottle, very pleasing, very aesthetically pleasing on the eye, nice soft pink, minimalist packaging, nice and light, great for travel because it's plastic. I really do like the packaging of this. I prefer packaging like this to traditional glass bottles because I just find them easy to store and a lot lighter and a lot more travel friendly, and it comes with just a squeezy top and then you basically squeeze it out like so. So I do like the packaging a lot. When it comes to what the foundation claims to do, it's meant to give you a very radiant finish. It's got light reflecting particles in there as well, and it's just meant to brighten and uplift the complexion, make it look very youthful and dewy, which you guys know is one of my favourite type of complexions to rock. So Layla and Andy are playing upstairs. I have no idea what they're doing, but yeah, it's meant to give you a very light and radiant finish. It's not a heavy foundation at all. It feels very nice and light on the skin. It also has anti-pollution screen, has an SPF of 30, and also has radiance boosting pigments, which obviously that's going to be the part that illuminates the skin and makes it look a lot more youthful than it actually is. So great ingredients, SPF 30, which is fantastic, especially as we go on to head into the spring and summer. You want to make sure that you're wearing SPF. You should be wearing it anyway, but even more so when it gets warmer outside. I want to talk about the things that I dislike about it first, because I do love the foundation, I love the finish that it gives, but there's definitely a shade issue going on, as you guys can see. Now, I'm olive skinned, you guys know that if you've been watching my videos for a while. And what I really struggled with in this range was the shade selection. It only came in 4 shades, which is incredibly limited. If you're any darker than me, and I wouldn't say I was particularly dark, I would say I'm very much a medium olive skin tone, you will struggle to find a shade to accommodate you, and that is just simply not good enough from Bourjois. They should have brought out some darker shades really, and I hope they do address that and bring out some more shades because it's very limited. I mean, you can't even do a self tan and then apply this, because as you'll see with my skin before and after, I've had to severely warm my complexion up with bronzer just to get myself in some sort of matched appeal. You guys may even think that it's still far too light for me, and it is at the moment, but in the winter time, when I first got this, which was January, it worked really well, but as my skin is kind of warming back up, it's just not suiting me at all in terms of the shade, which is a shame because I would have gone out and bought the darker shade if they had it, but they don't, so I find that very limiting indeed. So that's a big massive gripe for me. Another thing about it is it's not the best in terms of coverage. I don't particularly have troubled skin. I do get the odd blemish from time to time. I do have a tiny one here which has just started to fade, but I would say that if you have blemish prone skin, acne prone skin, you know, redness, you may need to have a concealer on top. which isn't ideal really, because the coverage should be slightly better than that. The coverage is just okay. It's nothing too special. If you have skin that's similar to mine, where you have nothing too severe going on, then you may be able to just get away with this without a concealer. However, if you have anything more severe going on, you will definitely need one, which would compromise on the lightness unless you happen to find a concealer that's nice and light to accommodate it. Let's talk about things that I do like. SPF, fantastic, 30. I love the finish that this gives. It's very illuminating, very, very dewy, fresh faced look, very minimalist, makes the skin look really healthy and radiant, and I do like that a lot. I also love the packaging and the price as well. It's about $7.99, so it's not too expensive, and it's very, very similar to a Chanel foundation that I recently purchased. It not only smells like, you know, very, very similar, but the finish that it gives is very, very reminiscent of that foundation, and I am going to do a side-by-side comparing them. I do love this foundation a lot. I think it suits my skin really nicely, and it's just a shame about the shade, but I feel like the coverage could have been a little bit better, so that's just something that lets it down. But everything else about it I love. I love the texture, I love how it applies, and the lasting power on it is really, really good. I find that the longevity of it stays true throughout the whole day. I actually wore this foundation all throughout moving house when I was lugging stuff about and being a bit warmer and a bit more agitated and sweating a little bit more. I know that's a bit TMI, but it copes with it really well, and my complexion looked pretty much the same at night as it did when I applied it in the morning. And I was wearing it for some pretty long hours. I was putting it on at like 8 in the morning and not removing it till like 11 o'clock at night, so it lasted really well. So that is a very, very good sign for this foundation, especially if you're a working girl or you have a lot going on, you have very busy days and can't touch up during the day. This is an extremely long wearing foundation, which I do like. So let's talk about the concealer before I nip to applying them. I love the concealer. The concealer for me is the star product. There's only one downside to this, which I'll get onto in a minute, but packaging, absolutely love it. Little glass bottle, very premium, very pleasing on the eye. And this is a correcting / illuminating 24-hour hydration concealer. So what I struggle with this, I'm going to talk about the cons first, is the fact that it's illuminating and correcting. I personally don't feel like a product can do both. I feel like if it's correcting something and then you're putting a highlighting fluid in it, it's going to then draw focus to the area. So I've never used it to cover a blemish, and I think if I did, it will leave a white cast. I would never dream about putting an illuminating concealer on top of a blemish, because I feel like that's just doing the opposite of what you want it to do. So I only really apply this on areas that I want to highlight, on tops of my cheekbones, and I also use it for under eye circles, which may sound like it might not work because it's illuminating and this area is quite dark, but there's just something about this that works in that nature. It really does neutralize the skin and make it look a lot more even. The only other downside to this is it does leave a white cast, and you know, that's a little bit annoying because I did blend it out really well, and if you are taking pictures, that's something to consider. This does leave a white cast, which is a little bit annoying. On an everyday basis in the mirror, out and about, you cannot tell. But if you're recording like I am today, which you may even notice it now, I haven't edited this video so I can't see it yet, but you may notice that it does leave a slight white cast on camera. So if you're going to be taking photos, you're going to be filming, that type of thing, then this is not the concealer I would choose. But on an everyday basis where you just want to get those dark circles down to a minimum, then I definitely would recommend this. The consistency is very creamy, it doesn't sit in any fine lines, it's very hydrating, and I do enjoy it. So I definitely would recommend it unless you're using it for filming purposes. Okay, so that's kind of my thoughts in a nutshell. So what I'm going to do is pop over to the other side of the video where you can see what my skin looks like makeup free, and we can compare it to what it looks like with a full face of makeup at the moment. Okay, so you guys pretty much know the drill by now. I start off completely makeup free, so at the moment I've just cleansed and moisturised my face, and I have worn this foundation a few times. I've had it for around 2 months now, or maybe it's a month actually. I've had it about a month, so I have worn it quite a few times, and I find the best way to apply it is actually with a beauty blender. For some reason it just blends better than when you use a brush, so that's the way I'm going to apply it. I don't really have many blemishes going on at the moment. I did last week, but at the moment my skin is pretty clear, so it's got nothing major to contend with. But I find this a really nice everyday foundation. And what I will say as well, you may have already noticed this, is this is probably about 1 or 2 shades lighter for me at the moment. But okay, so that's the foundation applied, and it feels lovely. It feels nice and light. There's nothing heavy about this. It's giving me a very, very dewy appearance, and I really do like it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply the Radiance Reveal Concealer, which came out at the same time. I'm just going to look this way because that's where my mirror is, and I'm just going to dot it from one corner of my eye to the other. which is where I would normally apply concealer. You could use this as a highlighter as well because it's very, very highlighting and it's very creamy and rich, and I do like that. But it's not so rich that it gathers in any fine lines, and I'm just going to use the top end of my beauty blender and I'm just going to pat that in really, really gently. You can use your ring finger to do this, but I find a damp beauty blender works really, really well. Okay, and I feel like that's just brightens up my whole eye area. Like I can see in the mirror, even when comparing it to the side, which I know is slightly covered at the moment, but you can really see how it's just opened my eye area up and made it look that little bit more awake. So I really do like this concealer. I prefer the concealer to the foundation. Okay, so that's the foundation and concealer applied. So I'm just going to pop on the rest of my makeup and I'll check back with you guys when I'm done. You can see it applied very, very nicely, and the rest of the makeup has gone on seamlessly on top. It does look really nice. I have had to warm it up with bronzer because I would look like Casper if I didn't. I really need to warm my complexion up. But I think that the overall thoughts of these products are the shade range is limited in the foundation, it needs working on, and the coverage isn't fantastic, but everything else about it I love. When it comes to the concealer, it is lovely unless you're filming or taking photos and it leaves a white cast. So those are the two main areas to consider when buying any of these products, but apart from that, I love them both. I wear them all the time and I do really enjoy them. So I'm just going to go about my day and I'll pop back in a bit and show you how it's fared. So guys, I just wanted to check back. It's about 8 hours into the day now and yeah, it's still looking really good. It has started to come away where I have slight blemishes here, but it didn't cover them amazingly well to begin with, as I said, but it still looks really nice, really seamless, and I really do like it. Like I said, it's always lasted really, really well, and the rest of the makeup has lasted quite well on top of it as well. Guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and of course subscribe if you're new, and pop in the comments box down below what you think about it, if you've tried it, if you're planning on trying it, and your thoughts, and I would love to hear from you. And also let me know about the background changes and that sort of thing, because I want to know if it bothers you guys. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!